Hello lovely people, today we will be looking at a Nakamichi DSP amplifier. So this DSP amplifier was sent to me by Frank from HEPAKing. Thank you very much, Frank, for letting me check this out. He was checking this out as well, and he decided just to send it to me for a full review and a test. So what is this? Nakamichi, this is a brand that I personally am not very familiar with. A lot of people are familiar with it from back in the day, because apparently back in the day, they were making extremely good head units and maybe something else, like in the US. I don't know if it was popular in UK ever. This is one of their budget lines DSP. They make quite a lot of DSPs. I had a look online. They have various models. This is NDSK4085AU. So 4 is for inputs and 8 outputs. It says 8-channel digital processor with built-in amplifier. So it does have a 4-channel amplifier that is built in. So this is very similar to the Alpine R500 that I reviewed recently. However, this has 2 extra channels of DSP and it has some extra features. So it does feel quite heavy. The packaging is nothing really interesting or important. In the back we have some features. When you see that it says max power 4 times 80 watts, you know that this is not an 80 watt amplifier, and I was wondering how big an amplifier it can be, and I will be testing the actual amplifier in this DSP. I'm gonna check out all the specs and everything, but now we just open it and have a look maybe at the DSP software. So we open this, we have a very nice welcome message, the DSP, extras. With the extras, the only thing we have is a USB cable, which is a simple printer type, same like the small Alpine, so like a printer USB cable. Then we have some mounting hardware. I would imagine it's gonna be tabs, screws, and oh, this is a nice addition. So M3 Velcro sticky thingies. This is very nice for mounting in just anywhere, literally you can stick it in. So this is very cool. Now let's have a look at the DSP itself. Okay, so this is how it looks like. I'm gonna pull this out because I'm gonna tell you later. And it looks just beautiful. It's brushed aluminum. It looks very, very nice. No fingerprints are showing, like, because when you have gloss finish, you have all the fingerprints, and this is not a fingerprint magnet. It looks very, very nice. Like, the build quality looks nice. However, when you dig deeper, it's a bit deceiving. So what do I have here in the back? Nakamichi, 80 watts times 4 max power. As Justin DIY audio guys, max power. On this side we have nothing, just remote controller. So let's talk about price. Actually, the Alpine that I reviewed, the R500, cost about 300 pounds, 250 pounds, converted into British pounds. This one, it's much cheaper. In China you can buy it for about 150 to 180 pounds, which is like just over $200. If you import it in the UK, it's like 200 pounds, so like maybe $250. So this is a budget unit. And for the price, I don't know if you can get anything better, because these units are not designed for extreme sound quality or competition level stuff. These are designed to be just chucked into a factory upgrade and have something better like active processing. That's it. So the components inside, you can't expect anything very good for that price range. And this thing has quite a lot of things. So let's have a look. So this one, remote, it costs about $50 to $100, I think. I'm not sure exactly. Then it has on this side all the I/O. So we have a plug, which is exactly the same like for the Alpine head unit, the Alpine DSP that I have, the R500, and exactly the same as for the 0850X. However, the 0850X has less inputs It actually doesn't have any outputs, and it has 3 positives and 3 negatives, but the plug is exactly the same. Then we have to choose how it wakes up, either from high level, either from accessory. Then we have this USB cable, which plugs into the laptop. USB. So this DSP has a built-in USB player. So if you have a stick, such as this one, a very small tiny stick, you put some music in there. I didn't actually check it yet, but just stick it in there, and then you have all your music collection, and it doesn't even protrude. So this is just amazing. So it has a built-in USB player, and this unit has Bluetooth, so you can stream your music via Bluetooth or control the actual DSP with a special app, and I'm going to show you that as well. So considering all of this included in the price, because the R500 Alpine doesn't have Bluetooth, you have to buy a separate Bluetooth adapter. Helix doesn't have any Bluetooth. Basically, Helix Bluetooth adapter costs almost as much as this whole DSP, and it has 2 inputs and 8 outputs. It doesn't have any digital inputs, apart from the technically USB is and Bluetooth is a digital, but no optical, no coax, no nothing. Let's take a minute to talk about what is it for. This is mainly, as I mentioned, for factory upgrades, because it has 4 amplified channels. It can be used as a head unit. Now, power wise, it's obviously not 80 watts, and if I would show you the manual, because the manual is something that you should be cringing about while you read it. Let's find something interesting. So by looking at this, you can find some discrepancies that are kinda So this DSP has 31 band of EQ per channel. And then here, for some reason, it says restore the parameters of the 15 band EQ. It's like, okay, so it's 15 or 31. Then here it says output 8 channels of low level, 4 channels of whatever magic power. And here it says low level RCA output, connect up to 6 channel speaker output. So like the manual is obviously like a typical Chinese product that has a lot of nonsense and probably is written for all the DSPs, and somebody who wrote it specifically for this one forgot to change quite a few things. So if you have a look in AliExpress or like anywhere in China where they sell DSPs, car audio DSPs, you're gonna find more than tens of different products with different branding. Then if you look from the back, they look almost identical, and I guarantee all the internals are going to be the same as in those cheap Chinese DSPs. So those cheap Chinese DSPs cost 60, 80 pounds, so probably just over $100, like $120 or something, cheaper than this. But this, like, it feels like a premium product. I guarantee it does what it does. If you noticed, when I opened the box, we had a USB cable, we had some mounting brackets that go here. However, we don't have the plug. So the plug, interestingly enough, is not supplied with the actual DSP. You have to buy the plug separately. Now, the good thing is these plugs are not expensive. You can buy them from China for 10, 15 pounds, like $20 or so, and they are very, very universal. Exactly the same plug I have for the Alpine R500, which is exactly the same pin layout and everything. It has a line-in fuse and just some bare wires in the back. These plugs, you can buy them specifically for your vehicle. Basically what they do, they have a plug like this on one end, and on the other end they can have either ISO connectors where you can plug in your cars, or specifically designed for your specific vehicle. This is just a perfect plug and play factory upgrade. Even if you have factory speakers, let's imagine front doors and rear doors, 4 speakers, you have 4 amplified channels, you can use it with the factory wiring. Just plug, and instead of just a factory head unit, you have a fully customizable DSP that you can change slopes, you can EQ, you can time align. So for the price, it's an amazing product. Now, is it quality? So when I opened it, it looked nothing like the Alpine. So let's have a look. When you have the screws like this, they just literally, there's no tapping, no nothing, just the screws go directly inside the metal, like same on like very cheap aluminum heatsinks. With Alpine, every hole is tapped with the tap and die set, so it's, yeah. And the plates as well, this is like cheap, it's not flimsy, but it's thin metal. Like on Alpine, it's much thicker. If we have a look inside, now I don't know much about circuits, so I cannot really comment on it. However, we see a Bluetooth antenna that goes there. This is, I would assume, a power supply, maybe some FETs, something there. Ground. So this side daughter board is attached to the main one. You can wiggle it out just like that with a lot of pins. And this, I would assume this is the main amplifier, the two chips. Amplifiers in these things are same like head units. Alpine uses TDA chips. This one I have no idea because there's no really markings on them, but power wise they don't do more than like 15 to 20 watts per channel. It's kind of impossible because they're using rail voltage as the 12 volt that's coming from a battery. So with 15 volts max rail voltage, you cannot have a lot of power. So again, if you know something more about circuit design and stuff, maybe you can comment under the video below how it looks like. Does it look good or bad? Because I have absolutely no idea. What I want to show you is the app and the software in the laptop for this DSP. So this is how the app looks when you just launch it, and you have to select which DSP you want to connect to. So in my case, it's going to be a second from the top, the 4085AU. I'm going to press on that. Then, so this is like real life. The DSP is live now. The only thing I have to do is connect the Bluetooth. So on the top right corner, there's a Bluetooth icon, like Wi-Fi. I'm going to click on it, and it's connecting to the device. Just for you to see as well how long it takes to do stuff. Data loaded successfully, and here we have the main controls. On the top we have presets that we can switch. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that, but it's fine. So on the top you have presets. On the right we have signal, which one we want the input. So let's say we choose Bluetooth. And before I dive into this, I want to say that like Bluetooth connectivity and Bluetooth apps that control the DSP is the best thing I've ever discovered. And now if I would buy a DSP, like an app is a must. So what I did with this app, I literally connected the DSP because I had the Alpine. So you literally just plug and play, remove the big connector, put this one because all the pin outs are exactly the same. And the only thing that I had to do is just to set crossovers. And that's pretty much it. So I was ready to play this DSP in literally 5 minutes. So on the left side, we can go to the channels. And here, with a click of a button, we can mute each channel. We can unmute. Then we can choose the delay in milliseconds, centimeters, inches. And if I click on the, let's say on the delay on the left side here, I can choose like enter the delay manually, or like with plus and minus. Then we can invert polarity of each channel here. So this is the first one. Then the second is the EQ. So EQ goes in landscape mode, and it is a bit tricky because the buttons are tiny. However, if you use this app on a tablet, I haven't tried it, I would imagine it would be so cool. So here on the left side we have high pass, low pass. We can put whatever frequency we want. We can choose between Butterwolf bezel and Linkwitz Riley, slope as well. Yeah, so it's just tiny screen. With EQ is exactly the same. You choose the frequency. You can do it with these arrows in the corner, or you can just take the dot and drag it anywhere you want, and you can do like literally anything you want with it. And then you can adjust the Q. If you press on there, you can go wider or narrower. That's EQ. You can do EQ for each channel individually. So you set crossovers and you have 31 band of EQ. Now in the mixer, so this is like the input and output mixer. So if this is for some reason analog, if I switch to Bluetooth and go to mixer, okay, Bluetooth mixer. Oh yeah, so at the bottom here we have channel 1, left side of Bluetooth. So we can do, for subwoofer for example, if we want to do, we can do 50-50 of left and right, or we can do 100-100, or we can do just right instead of left. And you can do that for each channel individually. So you can, because you have 4 analog inputs, which are the high level, and I would assume the auxiliary, yeah, would work the same. And Bluetooth and USB is on the left. So basically this is just a mixer for each channel, but like by default it's done channel 1 left, channel 2 right, left, right, left, right, basically left, right. Then in systems we have some settings. So noise gate, I don't know what that is, but some people that commented always said that turned it off because it introduces noise. I don't know. We have level, so this is like level matching between like Bluetooth and USB. So as I mentioned, it does have a USB playback capability. And yeah, so this console is kind of cool because what you have is the main volume, which is fine. You have subwoofer level, which is probably gonna be on channel 5, 6. I actually didn't. Oh man, I'm switching presets. I didn't actually play with it, but like it's cool to have instead of a bass knob. So you would have, if you want to control the DSP without a controller through this app, you would have to have your phone like always there to control it. So it's kind of not very convenient, but it's a good ability to have. And the cool thing is these at the bottom you have high, mid, and low, which is basically your like tone control, which is very, very cool. So if you like tune your system, it's like on a factory radio you have. If you tune your system like flat or whatever, and you see that, for example, it's a bit too bright, you come to this app, you take the high, and you do like -2, -3 dB, and it brings all the high notes down. If you want a little bit more bass, you go to the low one and add like 5 dB. Instead of like using the subwoofer control, you can add the low end for the whole like bottom end. I'm not sure exactly how much, how big of an area it affects. However, I'm planning to test that. I'm planning to do like a proper measurement and test with this DSP. So this is this, and then if you click on music, we have, if we go to Bluetooth, it's gonna load, it's a bit slow, yeah, it's gonna load all the music that I have on my phone. And if I click on USB, it's just a bit slow. That's the only thing, because it kind of reads everything. So it goes into the USB stick that I have sticked into the DSP itself. And we have the folder root, and we have, at the moment I just have 2 songs, and I added one MP3. So you can see here at the bottom is MP3, and the other one is FLAC. So it plays both FLACs MP3. So this is basic app control. Yeah, it's kind of easy to understand. Everything is fine. You can choose a preset, save, delete, rename. You can do whatever. But like, it would be inconvenient to like enter the EQ and tune it because the screen is small and it's a lot of theft. However, setting the crossovers, man, it's so cool. It's so easy. You choose whatever and it's gonna enter. You can drag it, you can do whatever you want. It's very easy setup with an app. You don't need a laptop or anything to just to put like save crossovers. It's very, very convenient. So this was the app. Let's jump into the laptop, into the actual software. And this is going to be the software. So I'm just going to launch the software. Again, it asks what DSP you want to use. We're going to choose 85AU, press OK. And this is the main window. So it does connect automatically. At the top we hear connected. I'm gonna maximize this window. There we go. And we have everything like this. So it's pretty basic. You have each channel, channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way. You can rename it. You can put whatever you want on it. And the controls are like basically everything that you need. So you have all the EQ bands, 31. The only I want to say downside is that it's a bit difficult to see because it's very tiny. However, Alpine is even tinier than that. So you can put anything you want. Q, let's see, 0.1. So Q from 0.4 up to 28. You wouldn't need to use it. And the gain is plus 20 to minus 20. So like plus 20 gain ability, I think is the highest that I've ever seen in a DSP, because Helix does what, plus 6, Alpine plus 12, this one does plus 20. You have to be very careful with that not to overdrive it. High pass, low pass. You can choose, again, as I mentioned in the app, exactly the same, link with trial, this. Now, the only thing is, if you want to bypass it, there's no bypass button. So what you have to do in the slope, you have to choose off, because there's no bypass button for it. EQ, you can have parametric, you can have graphical. If you would ever need to use graphical, you can reset, restore, you can bypass. So with this, if you use, for example, a few bands, you can bypass one band, and I think you can bypass all of it. Is it restore? Yeah. So restore and reset. So I cannot bypass all of them. I have to do one by one. And it's pretty, I don't know, delay manually. There's no slider. Or is it a slider? That's the level. So level you can change by 0.1 dB, which is cool. You can rotate the phase, mute, unmute, and delay. You can choose whatever you want to add. So milliseconds, let's say 1.1, 1.2. Yeah, so 0.1 increments of delay. And the top, where you can like all the usual stuff, memory and options, noise gate, whatever that is. The mixer is your input mixer, so you just pretty much self-explanatory. Again, same like in the app, 50-50, 100-100, left, right, you can do whatever. Here we're choosing the source that we're tuning. And the only thing is like this one, audio. So this is kind of, I feel, is gimmicky a bit. So it kind of pre-applies some EQ, which it is just a gimmick. It's nothing. It's just literally what you have, 3, -2, whatever, just random EQ. So just keep it on flat and do whatever you need to do. And yeah, so this is pretty much the app. Extremely simple, extremely basic, but it does what it needs to do. It does crossovers, it does EQ, and it does time alignment. And that's all basically what you need. Everything in one screen. You don't have to go through any of the screens. Pretty simple to use. Yeah. So in summary, this is a great device for the price. And I cannot emphasize this enough, for the price. It is so cheap. You can get a cheaper product, but well, it looks good. So for the price, you're not gonna win any competitions with it, but for daily update, for daily driving, 8 channels, 3-way front end, and a sub, that's all what you need for £200 or less. So yeah, if it would be my first DSP, I would be very happy with it. And I know a lot of people running this DSP and are totally happy with it. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.